Hello, welcome to Screen Talk with yours truly, Nomfanelo. So, with this story, might be a bit tabloidy than what I usually do for Screen Talk, but I find it's an interesting one. I saw this hours ago, and I honestly don't know what to make of it, to be honest. So, I saw this on Twitter that Tom Cruise is reportedly upset that with Oppenheimer will be taking away all of the IMAX screens from Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning. He has furiously showed the film to exhibitors to convince them to switch from Barbie and Oppenheimer. So this story came from Puck News, particularly with Matthew Belloni, who currently hosts the Town, yes, the Town podcast. And I'm gonna try to read what I can from the article because it is under a paywall, so it shows a bit of the article. So here it is: the Tom Cruise versus Oppenheimer movie theater smackdown. Cruise has been forcefully pushing exhibitors to put Mission Impossible ahead of Nolan's film on large format screens after he lost 3 weeks of IMAX exclusivity in the first truly competitive summer for blockbusters since COVID. Tom Cruise is pretty pissed these days. The star producer of Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1 has been complaining loudly to Paramount executives and others about the IMAX situation, per multiple sources familiar with the dialogue. Mission 7 has booked most of the IMAX screenings for the week of the film's July 12th opening. But then on July 21st comes Universal's Oppenheimer, which has locked in all the IMAX screens in North America and other territories for 3 full weeks. Mission 7, Cruise's nearly 300 million budget baby, is getting bumped. This makes sense. Nolan is basically an unpaid brand ambassador for IMAX. He shot Oppenheimer entirely with the IMAX large format cameras, and Universal dated the Nolan film in his usual late July slot in 2021, well before Mission 7 was dated in early 2022, following the COVID delays. Universal was quick to negotiate that exclusive IMAX window, but Cruise is used to getting what he wants, except for an Oscar, of course, and I'm told he has expressed his extreme displeasure that the distribution waters aren't being parted for a guy who saved theaters, as Spielberg famously declared. After all, Mission 7 will likely end up grossing more overall than Oppenheimer, putting IMAX in an odd spot and allowing Cruise to argue it makes business sense to give him the best screens. Top Gun, of course, made a lot of money when it came out last year. They say it made 110 million of its close to 1.5 billion global haul in IMAX theaters, and other premium large format screens contribute hundreds of millions more to the film's total gross. PLFs and their upcharges are crucial these days to all movies, but especially to those like Mission 7, that are sold primarily as spectacles. Excuse me. IMAX makes up just a little more than a third of its large format screens in the US, so Cruise has lately shifted his efforts to securing as many of those non IMAX PLF screens as he can. He's been furiously showing the film to exhibitors in an effort to convince them to switch their plans from Oppenheimer or Barbie, which Warner Brothers scheduled opposite the Nolan film on July 21st as a middle finger to Universal after it stole Nolan during the HBO Max Day and Date debacle. So this is interesting because honestly, when I first saw this news, I thought it was hilarious, to be honest, because I'm not surprised that with the Nolan film has the IMAX exclusivity because for one, the entire film is shot in IMAX, and two, Nolan is the unofficial spokesperson for IMAX. So the fact with like I get that Tom Cruise will be upset, but at the end of the day, it's kind of ridiculous because if you wanted to have that exclusivity, you should have negotiated earlier. But but possibly I see that if he is keen on having the movie in IMAX screens longer than what their exclusive window, possibly after when the exclusive with Oppenheimer expires in August, they could push their film to IMAX depending how well Mission 7 is doing at that point. So, yeah, like I just find it's kind of ridiculous that he's complaining. Seems like here he thinks he could get what he wants because with Top Gun Maverick being very successful last year, but I mean, I feel like I don't know with Mission 7, like I've seen some promos behind the scenes where they show IMAX cameras. I'm assuming it's for the action scenes as opposed to the whole movie, but I think regardless whether, it gets more time in IMAX screenings or not, the movie is going to do all as the Park article stated in the movie. So, I want to show you guys this little snippet I found. It was released the other day where with Universal, they released this promo for shooting the movie in IMAX. I'll just share a bit of it. Hopefully, I don't get copyright strike.
Our film tries to take you into his experience, and IMAX for me is a portal into a level of immersion that you can't get from other formats.
IMAX is a format of spectacle, and it's made for vistas and for the grandeur of it. But I got very curious to discover this as an intimate format. The face is like a landscape. There's a huge complexity and a huge depth to it. How can we get this camera closer to people?
Yeah, because clearly with the movie, like they make a big deal on using IMAX essentially to enhance the storytelling. Because I'm sure you guys are well aware that Nolan has been using IMAX cameras since The Dark Knight, I believe, and yeah, clearly he's a big fan of it and really loves to use it to enhance the storytelling and the visuals and all that stuff. So, and then the last clip I'll show here is there's a video on TikTok that came out where essentially it's a minute long where Nolan was promoting the film in IMAX. So let's take a look.
Hello, I'm Christopher Nolan.
And I was lucky enough to spend the day with Mr. Nolan as he showed me some behind the scenes of his new movie Oppenheimer and discussed the importance of film and also watching things in IMAX. He began by and also projected.
That's conventional 35mm. We shoot on 70mm. The other format we use is 70mm IMAX. It's the highest quality imaging format ever devised. It gives you an incredible sense of immersion in the image.
We then made our way up to the projection booth, where Mr. Nolan explained the importance of IMAX exhibition, and he also detailed the process of loading film and the benefits of watching Oppenheimer in the specific IMAX format.
It fills your peripheral vision. It immerses you in the image. The clarity, the crispness, it is the gold standard. It is the closest to reproducing the world the way that your eye sees it.
With the movie reel now loaded up, Mr. Nolan and I made our way downstairs to the IMAX theater, where he gave me a sneak peek of Oppenheimer.
It's an IMAX 70mm film projector in the booth, using the full IMAX screen, and enjoy.
Getting to watch parts of Oppenheimer with the man who made it himself was genuinely a dream come true, and I absolutely cannot wait for you guys to see Oppenheimer in IMAX when it hits theaters in exactly
1 month, 15 days, 17 hours, 3 minutes, and 24 seconds, which makes me a little nervous, but nice to be reminded of how much we've got to do in the time we have.
Yeah, because clearly with promos like this, IMAX is a huge deal. So that's pretty much like what I have to say. But I will say though, for me, like as a person, like I've seen my fair share of movies in IMAX. I'll be honest, I don't really see a lot of movies in IMAX lately. I think mainly because with the theater, my local theater, like the seats are not that comfy. But I will say though, like in terms of projection, like I love how like the images are crisp, and then the sound, like the sound you hear, like is effective. And yeah, like it's a very good experience if you see movies in IMAX, and seeing promos like this. Like I want to buy my IMAX ticket to see Oppenheimer. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that one. And I do hope with Mission Impossible, like that movie does well too, because I am a fan of the film series, and with Seventh, it looks exciting to see. So that's pretty much it. What I have to say with the IMAX talk. I would love to know: do you guys side with Tom Cruise, or would you side, or do you disagree with Tom Cruise? Let me know in the comments section. Oh, I do want to note though that because like with IMAX screens are limited, like usually there's one like per theater. Um, Probably like to help, I guess, with Tom Cruise case, if they make more than one IMAX screen available like in theaters. I think mostly it'll have in the multiplex theaters like a Cineplex. So yeah, I think that could help with the issue if they add more IMAX screens, but we'll see because IMAX is not cheap. So let me know in the comment section what you guys think about this topic. My link to the socials and with the article will be in the description. And I want to say thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I will catch you on the next one.